I have generated an invoice of 50K.
So, Paul, if you don't mind, let's start the question. So, how did your UK journey start?
So I came to the UK in 2009 on a student visa.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So I had to pay this recruitment agency based in Davao City 400,000 pesos just for me to come to the UK. Now this recruitment agency eventually went bust. Yeah, it was actually all over the news as well. ABS, Channel 7, etc., etc. So when I arrived in the UK, I was deployed in Grimsby. Grimsby it was a special place for me because it's where I started my journey in the UK. So I was deployed as a carer in Grimsby. I was working for a residential care home. And then that's where my journey in the UK started.
You had to pay 400,000. So
I had to pay 400,000.
And then did you ever get that 400,000 back? Ano nangyari dun sa 400,000? What was that for?
That was for the placement fee and the visa, including the plane fare.
Wow.
So that was everything.
So ikaw lahat.
That was, yes.
And then siguro you could imagine na you also paid for the agency themselves kasi parang 400,000 such a massive fee.
Yeah.
But then you tell us nag-fold tong company to. So safe to say merong iba tayong mga kababayan na nalugi dito?
Oh yes. It was all over the news because there were more than 200 Filipino nurses wherein their visas were denied.
Wow.
Because what happened, the owner of the recruitment agency based in Oxford run away with the money.
So from Grimsby's, where did you go next?
Along the way, I'm just gonna tell you a story about my vision. So along the way, when I was in Grimsby working as a carer, I was working actually as a senior carer. After 3 months, I was promoted. I told myself I was way better than this.
Yeah.
Yep. So I told myself, I want to be a nurse in the UK. I want to be a UK registered nurse. So I breached my contract with this agency because we were left hanging in the air in the first place. There's no point of me staying with this agency. So I went to London. I did my overseas nursing program with City University of London. So all the money that I have saved working as a carer and all of the money that I have saved with my business in the Philippines selling second-hand cars, I have funded my overseas.
So you self-funded? Wow.
I self-funded, yeah.
Swerte ngayon yung mga nurses ngayon kasi lahat to sinasagot na ng
it's all paid for. Exactly, by the employer.
And employers. So noon, ikaw, sa'yo lang lahat. Wow.
That's true. Yeah.
And then so you got from after becoming a nurse, ano nung ginawa mo afterwards? Where did you go after that?
So I started working as a nurse in a big nursing home in Chigwell. It's in East London. So I worked there for 6 years. So after a year working for them, I was promoted as the team leader or the senior nurse, and eventually became the clinical lead. And then after 6 years, I landed a deputy manager's role in a nursing home based in Bush Hill Park. So I was a deputy manager there for a year. Yeah, I worked for the company for almost 2 years actually. So I worked for them as a deputy manager for a year, and then I transitioned to managing a high dependency unit, which I have set up myself.
Nice.
In Feb of 2017.
Perfect. And now, eto na. From there, where are you now?
So, from managing a high dependency unit that I have created from the ground up, I eventually transitioned on creating my own staffing agency. Yeah. So I've always been entrepreneurial by heart ever since. So I spent my Christmas Eve and my Christmas Day alone, pounding on my laptop, creating my business plan, doing my due diligence on researching on how big staffing agencies operate. Yeah. So, it was really hard for me to tender my resignation because I really want my business to succeed. So I did tender my resignation on the second week of May
To focus.
to focus on Brylee Care Staffing Agency. So when I actually started focusing on Brylee Care Staffing Agency, that's when when I saw massive results. So from the 9th of June until today, I have generated an invoice of 50K.
Wow.
Bear in mind, you are your own success and you are your own failure. Okay, so be obsessed with your obsessions. Be obsessed with your goals, whether it's being financially free, whether it's being a good father, a good provider, yeah, a good husband. Be committed to your goals. Be committed to your wives.
Nice. So, well, there you go. I hope this has been a great episode for all of you guys, and for me, it's been really enlightening. And just remember, I just have to thank Paul and his family for having us in this wonderful home.
You're welcome.
We hope to see him soon again at some point.
By all means, cool.
Yeah. And so just remember, kung may kailangan pa kayo to ask about here dito sa UK, you want to know more stories like Paul's, we have a lot of successful Pinoys here and we will try to feature them soon. Remember, Manong knows.
Good.